Let's quickly move on now to the intrigues in Kano State at the moment. Nigerians, especially citizens of Kano State, have become divided over the choice of Emir. On the one hand is Muhammad Sanusi II, who was reinstated by the present Kano State Governor and Aminu Bayero on the other hand. Also, the judgment from the Federal High Court sitting in Kano and the State High Court have further compounded the matter. Now, who is then is in authority as the real Emir of Kano at this time, with all other conflicting judgments that we're having at the moment? Well, meanwhile, the Kano state government has directed the Commissioner of Police to remove the 15th Emir of Kano, Aminu Bayero, and from the Nasara GRA, meaning Palace, where he resides. The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice stated this during a press conference, noted that the government has already concluded arrangements for the general reconstruction and renovation of property, including the demolition and reconstruction of the dilapidated walls fence with immediate effect. Now, the development comes few hours after the Federal High Court ruled on a substantive suit validating the Kano Emirate Council Repeal Law 2024, but nullifying all actions of Governor Abba Yusuf following the passage of the law.
The Kano State government has directed the State Commissioner of Police to remove the deposed Emir of the 8 metropolitan local government areas from the government property where he is trespassing, as government has already concluded arrangements for the general reconstruction and renovation of the property, including the demolition and reconstruction of the dilapidated wall fence with immediate effect.
Now, joining us via Zoom to discuss the issue is the Special Advisor to Kano State Governor on National and International Public Relations, Muhammad Yusuf. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you so much, and good morning, viewers.
A very good morning to you. If I call it Game of Thrones that is happening at the moment in Kano State, am I right? Looking at the back and forth conflicting court judgment, what is the stance of the state government concerning development in Kano at the moment?
Well, these are very interesting moments, especially for Nigerians, at least when happenings like this are happening maybe from other states or from other part of the country. We become onlookers and just watch and enjoy dramas unfolding. But this time around, this is a very, very serious issue. The Kano State government decided to amend the law that set up the chieftaincy and divide and balkanize the Kano State into 5 emirates. And since from the amendment of that law, so much has been happening. But let me come to where we are as it stands today. There was a judgment by the Judge Justice Liman of the Federal High Court, whereby he validated that law that was passed by the Kano State House of Assembly and assented to by the Governor of Kano State. But at the same time, in the same breath, he invalidated actions that were taken after that laws were passed. So the most interesting part of what happened is that day one, on the 23rd of last month, the Governor of Kano State assented to the law as passed by the State Assembly. And concurrently, as he was assenting to that law, he deposed the 5 emirs and appointed Aminu Sanusi, MS2 II, as the Emir of Kano State. As at the time the governor did take all these actions, there was no court order. No order of the court was in existence until the next day, on the 24th, when the governor was performing the ceremony of handing over the letter of appointment to His Royal Highness Aminu Sanusi. It was during that processes when the governor in his speech acknowledged that on the social media, we have been seeing an order flying, but we wonder if that order is even a true order, because the order is alleged to be signed by a judge, and that judge, from all informations at the disposal of the state, was on vacation outside the shores of Nigeria. So that was the whole conflicting issue. So in delivering his judgment, he said an order, even on the social media, should have been recognized, even though it has not been served on the state government. And he went ahead to nullify, to the best of our knowledge, that ceremony of handing over the letter of appointment.
Mr. Yusuf, we can continue back and forth narrating what transpired there with the recent Federal High Court verdict. Who is the Emir of Kano at the moment?
Come again?
We can continue back and forth giving analysis of what transpired. But with the recent Federal High Court verdicts, who is the Emir of Kano at the moment?
At the moment, by the judgment that validates the law as passed by the State Assembly, since I was giving you the background, I said the law was assented to the governor by the governor at the same time he appointed Aminu Sanusi. So the Aminu Sanusi, MS2 II, is the Emir of the whole of Kano State.
So what is up for contest here? Is it the fact that Justice Lima in his statement mentioned that the earlier order directing parties to maintain status quo still stands? When we mean status quo, are we talking about before the law or after the law?
Well, for us, and to the best of our ability, as at the time we saw the order, status quo ante is that the State Assembly has already assented to the law, which the judge himself has consented to that, and Aminu Sanusi has been appointed as the Emir. That is status quo ante from our own understanding of the law. And that is what the lawyers have been trying to make us understand. So that makes Aminu Sanusi as the sole Emir of Kano State, pending the determination of what is still before the courts.
And many have also raised concerns about the validity or the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court to hear that matter. It's, according to a senior advocate of Nigeria, this is not a fundamental human rights issue. And the Supreme Court has also stated, especially in earlier judgments, that chieftaincy matters are not fundamental rights.
Well, we all know that the case Tukur versus Gongola is a very celebrated case, which everybody, even a baby lawyer, knows that. Even us that are laymen, that we are not lawyers, we know the case of Tukur versus Gongola. It has been ruled that the Federal High Court lacks jurisdiction to delve into issues of chieftaincy. Look, the Federal High Court is a court that has been clearly defined in Section 251 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the jurisdiction of the Federal High Court has been stated therein in that Constitution. It is a court of limited jurisdiction. They do not have the right to delve into issues that have to do with chieftaincy issue. Even the judge, in his own wisdom, Justice Liman, when you look at it and how he went about the whole of the case, he is more or less only dealing on the ancillary matter, that is the issue of the substantive, the issue of the human right, and he is not delving into the issue of the chieftaincy because he knows he lacks the jurisdiction to talk on the issue of the chieftaincy. So we just wonder why such is still continuing to happen at this particular moment. They lack jurisdiction and they cannot be able to delve into an area that they lack jurisdiction. Just like the Lord Denning once said, the famous Lord Denning, one of the greatest judges that we have had, you cannot put something out of nothing because definitely it will not stand. So the rulings that are coming from the Federal High Court on this particular matter, they will not stand. There are precedents.
Okay,
the Supreme Court,
Mr. Yusuf,
Court of Appeal.
Let's wait and see what will come out from the appeal court concerning this particular development. But few hours after that Federal High Court verdict, we saw that the state government directed the Commissioner of Police to remove the 15th Emir from his palace due to some renovations that would take place in that. Why at this time that the state government is planning a renovation of the palace of the 15th Emir?
Well, as a government, at any particular time, government has to be doing assessment of buildings within the state, not the palace only. In fact, let me tell you, not even the palace. When you go to Gidam Murtala is one of the famous buildings that is in Kano, that is housing the civil servants, that was built even right then in the 70s. The state government is trying to renovate most of the structures that it has.
Mr. Yusuf, my question is, why at this time?
It is not why at this time. I'm telling you, not only the palace, but several buildings are being assessed for reconstruction or renovation. Not only that building, several buildings have been marked, and one amongst that building is the graveyards of the emirs, because that palace is even the graveyards of the emirs where the late emirs of Kano are usually buried. So the building, when you come to the wall of that building, it is cracking. And as a responsible government, definitely we cannot just sit down and fold our arms and allow that building to fall on passers-by or something like that. Definitely it has to be renovated at whatever given time. So it happening maybe this time or later in the future or whatever, the state government has the responsibility to renovate its structures, and that is exactly
it's a fine place to live. It's a special advisor to Kano State Governor on national and international public relations, Muhammad Yusuf. Many thanks for joining us on the program this morning.
Thank you so much, my brother, and I wish all of you the best over there.